Hello, my beautiful friends. This is Shereen Purewal bringing you the latest real estate updates here in Canada, and you could say the world as well. All right, so today's update is about non-residency and buying real estate here. And again, I'm not a tax expert, but as far as what I've seen, tax consequences are buying real estate as a non-resident. And the other thing that I want to touch on before we get into that is always what's going on in the market now, because I always get questions about, Shereen, what's happening in real estate? Where do you think the market's heading? And then I give you guys some information on the topic of the day, which is non-residency and taxes. All right, let's get back to the market update quickly. We're going into a bear market. So you always hear on CNN or you hear on the news, bear market, bull market. What does this all mean? Bear market means essentially it's falling. Bull means it's rising. Bear market means we're going down. Now, when do you want to buy? You want to buy in a bear market. You do, because that's when stocks are cheap. You don't want to buy on a bull because at some point it'll go up. You're buying at the peaks and it'll just drop down again. So you want to get in the market. Now, the danger of getting into a bear market is we don't know where the bottom is, right? So that's important to try to figure out. Hold on while I try to figure out my camera as usual. Try to figure out where we are in this market. I'm thinking now December time it's slowing down. People are wanting to sell. They're getting nervous about the market and where it's heading. So you may see good negotiation opportunities now, a good time to get in now, potentially. Or spring next year getting in. But spring, you're going to experience a lot more competition in the market. So we could see prices holding strong, but now you're going to see drops right now. You're going to see lots of drops right now. We are seeing some rallies happening in the stock market again, but what I'm hearing is we still haven't bottomed out in the stock market, and we still haven't bottomed out in the real estate market. That's what I'm continuously hearing. And in the US, they're saying end of 2023 is when we're going to see the bottom, or what some people are predicting based on bond yields, past trends, in a bear market recovering. They're saying the bottom is going to be at the end of 2023. We still, it hasn't, all these changes take time to feed into the system, as they say, to take effect, if you want to put it in those terms. So end of 2023, early 2024 is when they're saying is rock bottom and is a better time to get in. If you do need to buy, right now is not a bad time either, because, I mean, if you're going to see prices drop 10% or 20% by end of 2023, and you can negotiate now down 10 or 20%, then in that case, some opportunities may have a good entry point for you now. So that's that on the topic of real estate and when to get in and what I'm hearing and what the buzz is around that. Now, today's topic about non-residency and buying real estate here. So you can be a tourist and buy real estate here. You can be a Canadian and buy real estate here. If you're in one of those two categories, whether you're Canadian, American, a tourist, and you want to own a condo here, what happens is your status becomes non-resident, okay? And to be non-resident, essentially you're living in the country for less than 6 months. Because if you live for more than 6 months, you're considered to be a resident, is my understanding. Again, disclaimer, I'm not an accountant. Please check with your accountant. But this is my understanding of non-residency and the consequences therefrom. Okay, so that's my first update there. Now, the next thing I wanted to touch on is, now that we've defined non-residency, is what are the tax consequences? Well, because the Canadian government wants to make sure that you're not going to leave the country at the end of the year and not pay your taxes, they ask for their taxes up front. So if you're collecting rent, 25% of that rent, they want it up front. So they're saying, give me that rent up front. okay? And at the end of the year, file your taxes, tell me whatever your expenses are, and I'll give you back what you don't owe the government. So for non-residents, it's different. Also, the other thing, if a husband and wife, really important point, if a husband and wife are both non-residents and they buy a condo and the husband passes away and his share should roll over to the wife, in the event of non-residency, it's not like your typical residency or other countries where the spouse is exempt. The spouse has to pay capital gains. Has to pay capital gains. This is really important because the husband always is, and so all of a sudden the wife's like, oh, that family condo we had in Hawaii, like in Vancouver now, because we haven't been there, we've been, in Hong Kong working or in South Africa working, all of a sudden my share that rolls over to me becomes taxable for capital gains. One way of avoiding this is if you're non-resident is buying it potentially, if you're non-resident Canadian, or even if you're not a Canadian, buying it in a company. Okay, so that just the shares transfer over. Because not only are you now paying capital gains on that husband's share rolling over to the wife, you're also paying transfer tax. Now, that's if you're Canadian. If you're an American, the transfer tax over to the spouse, and I don't even know if you can transfer it over because there's a foreign buyer ban now. Can you roll over the share of a foreign buyer husband back to his wife as foreign buyer once he passes away, because there's a ban now in effect? Can that be transferred? So these are all questions you got to ask and be aware of. And a lot of lawyers, I'm finding, because all these laws are now coming to play, don't even have the answers themselves. So when in doubt, don't take a risk. I do know you can buy. I would say the safest bet is buying it in a company is how I would feel comfortable doing it, because the company is always recognized as a local entity and the shares could always be transferred over. Or we've got a lot of companies here in Canada that have foreign shareholders. So for me, that's a safer bet. So that's my 2 cents on non-residency and taxes. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Again, I'm not a tax expert, but this, again, from working with a lot of buyers and clients, I get all this cool information that I love to share with all you guys. And if you have more questions, do ask me so I can ask for you and get those answers where I can, or what an opinion has been on that. Again, opinion is key, but you always need to double check. And that's what I tell all my clients. Double check everything that I tell you as well. But to the best of my knowledge, this is what I know. All right, lovely people, that's today's updates. I'm trying to think if there's anything else for today. No, yeah, again, some people got excited a few days ago. The stock market rallied. It was a bear market rally, which means a little rally while the market's heading down. And I think it's all those guys, we're getting close to Christmas, want to pay themselves a nice volume bonus, so they rally the market up. But again, as far as real estate's concerned, we still apparently haven't seen the bottom. All these changes in interest rates still haven't taken proper effect into or trickled down into the market properly for us to see the result of it. So stay tuned. 2023, you have a lot to hold. We're only a month and a half away from 2023. So hang in there, and love you guys, and stay in touch. And anything you need, any questions, always reach out, try to answer it. Cheers, guys.